afternoon. This is Juan Grimaldo with the Grimaldo Group at Keller Williams, and today we have a special guest. His name is Herb. I met Herb at the gym, and he inspired me. I mean, this guy is so young. He's 91 years young, right?
Yes.
So, how do you stay so energetic? First of all, tell us where's Herb from? Where are you from originally?
I was born in Klamath Falls, Oregon.
Okay.
And when I got married, my wife, who came from New Jersey, said that when I got out of the Marine Corps, she would want to go back home because she had friends there and everybody, her family was there. So we went back home, and unfortunately, she died a few years later from cancer.
I'm sorry.
So if you hear my accent, you'll hear that it's got a lot of New Jersey in it.
Got it.
As compared to Oregon, but that's where I was born.
Okay, great. And the main question that I asked Herb is like, how do you stay so energetic? I mean, I hear a lot of young people complain or say that, they're tired and they don't feel like getting up early. I see you in the morning at the gym working out. How do you stay so energetic?
I drink Res. It's a drink that we manufacture. And the Res is is made out of plant-based. In other words, we make it out of plants. It gives you immune support. It has keto approved.
Wow.
It's diabetic friendly because it has no sugar and it has only 10 calories and 1 carb.
Wow.
Okay. It's kosher. And it tastes great. I drink it every single day. I start off in the morning drinking it with my vitamins, and then what I do is I go to the gym where I meet you. I work out for about 2 hours every morning. I start off with the stationary bicycle, and I do 100 calories on that. Then I go over to the crunches, and I do 120 reps.
Wow.
on the crunch machine. Then I go over to the rowing machine and I do 125 calories there. And I go home. I take the rest of the Res, and then I take a shower, and here I am.
He's very active. He also he sells these at Amazon, correct?
Pardon?
You sell them through Amazon?
We sell it on Amazon. Yeah, Amazon is a big customer of ours. We're in 2,000 supermarkets.
Wow.
So I don't know where people come from originally, but some of the names that I give you, you might very well know. It depends upon what part of the country you're from. But, we're in Publix. We're in Stop and Shop, that's on the East Coast. We're in some other big supermarkets, and we were hoping to get into Bash's', but then they said we might get into it, but at the end of October, at the end of September, but then they sold the company.
Got it.
So we don't know where we stand right now with Bash's'.
But you can get them on Amazon. So if you guys are looking for a nice drink that is healthy, that has kept this guy, running for 91 years, you can find it on Amazon. And the other reason I wanted to talk to him is because he's got a very interesting story. I mean, he's 91 years old, and again, I see him very active, and just wanted to share with you guys what he does. I mean, so tell us a little about your life. You also speak Spanish. Me sorprendió de que habla español. And,
Sí.
¿Verdad? Platícanos un poquito. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, what happened was when I was 17 years old, 2 of my friends decided that they were going to go join the Marines. I was going to go to college, but I didn't have enough money at the time. And my father wasn't that generous that he wanted to sponsor me going to college. So they said, we're going to join the Marines. Why don't you come along? So I joined the Marines with 2 other guys. I went home for the 50th high school reunion, and I saw one guy, and I said to him, Stan, where did you end up? He said, well, I ended up in Albany, Georgia for 4 years in supply. I said, you got a good deal. I said, what happened to Harold? He said, he got killed at Korea.
Oh.
So, but I stayed in the Marine Corps. I was in the infantry at first, and then later on I became a pilot.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and I flew the F-86 and the F-4C, which is the Marine Corps uses 2 F-4s, but that's the model of the plane. One has 1 pilot and one has 2 pilots. I flew the 1 pilot. Okay, the C. The D has 2 pilots.
Okay.
And I stayed in until I got wounded, and that ended my career.
How did you get wounded?
Well, I was straight from the Kong, and I was only 100 feet off what we call the deck, the ground. Okay, and all of a sudden, through the canopy, which is the plastic thing that you see, bullets came.
Oh, wow.
So if you look at my neck, you'll see I got 3 plates and 6 screws there. I've got 45% of the muscle in my leg is gone, and I don't have any bone up on my left shoulder. But other than that, I'm perfectly fine. But why let that bother you?
Right?
You know? I mean, there are too many people in this world complain about everything. You know, I mean, no matter what you do, you could give them gold, and they would complain about that.
It's too yellow.
Yeah, they're just that type of people.
Right.
You know? They want everything. They don't want to work for it, but they want everything, and give them everything.
Right. And that's one of the things that is that's why you're here, because it made me kind of question myself. Like, when I get up in the morning and I don't feel like going to work out, do I really have an excuse, or am I just being lazy? Right. So your arm is shocked. You were telling me, like, I touched his shoulder by mistake, and he mentioned, he's like, if you touch me here, it's like they're going
Nerves
working
are
my
exposed.
yeah. So his nerves are exposed, and he still shows up to the gym and works out every single day. So you either have excuses or you have, results. And
Well, I sometimes excuse myself. In other words, if I'm going to do 100 of the rowing machine, so sometimes I say to myself, well, instead of doing 150, I'll do 10, but I never do that. I keep going with 150. I'm sorry, 125.
right.
I keep going with that. And why do I choose 125? Because I got to go to work. And I go 2 hours, and it takes me 2 hours to do what I'm doing. So, I gotta sell res.
Yes.
Incidentally, we're in 3 farmers market. We're tomorrow in Buckeye. On Friday, we're at the Lutheran Church in Surprise. On Saturday, we're at Arrowhead, where the big shopping center is.
Okay.
And on Sunday, we're at Capabello's. You know Capabello's?
The
sports thing?
Yep.
Yeah, we're there on Sundays.
Sundays. Okay. So if you guys want to go grab some drinks and go say hi to Herb, he'll be there.
Yeah.
Buckeye, Surprise, Arrowhead, and we'll get your locations, and we'll put them here in the comments
Okay.
so that people can find you there.
The other thing is, we have sold over 70 cases in the last couple of months at the gym that we go to. We go to
Really?
Mountainside,
Right.
and people, not to the gym,
Just the people.
to people, because the gym, I don't understand their rationale, but we don't sell it to them.
Got it.
I mean, they don't carry it.
They're missing out.
Huh?
They're missing out.
Oh, they're missing out, because more than 70 cases over the last couple of years that have been there. But just in the last month and a half, we've sold 70 cases.
They're
And
missing
there
out
are
on
12
that profit.
bottles in a case.
Right.
And we sell you want me to mention the price?
Sure, of course. Why not?
Well, we don't sell it by the bottle at the gyms or but
Farmers
we do
market.
sell it at the farmers market. We sell a bottle for $2.75, and it's 16 ounces. We sell 3 for $7.50, so you save some money that way instead of the 275, and we sell a whole case at $28.
Okay. So it's the best deal to go with the case, right?
Best deals to go with the case
Got it.
because it ends up with somewhere around $2.44.
That's a pretty good deal.
It's a
good
very
that it's
good
healthy.
deal.
Yeah, you're eating something or drinking something that is good for you.
And all these things that I just mentioned before are contained in that bottle. And we sell to some of the biggest supermarkets in the country.
That's awesome.
I said we're in 2,000 supermarkets.
Beautiful. Well, see, I love the energy that Herb has, and I'm grateful to have you here because
Well,
again,
I'm grateful that you asked me.
yes. And the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is you were mentioning that your family in Oregon has some like the Apple company, right?
Right, yeah, we're in the apple bed.
Got it.
We have an orchard.
Very good.
After the Civil War, after my grandfather and his brother got wiped out, they were giving away land in Oregon. It's called the Homestead Act. If you built a permanent dwelling on the land, they would give you 100 acres. But you had to stay there at least a year to get it. The house and the land. So
Awesome. So, and then you were mentioning when you got into the military, where did you go? What did you do after that?
I went into construction.
Okay.
So I went into construction, and we did construction all over the world. As I said, we did it in Spain. We did it in Haiti, which has got a problem right now.
Right.
We didn't have that problem when we were there, thank God. We did it in Ecuador, Colombia, Peru. Where else?
Guayaquil, you mentioned.
Oh, Guayaquil, that's in Ecuador.
Right.
And Guayaquil is one of those places when the minute you walk outside, you're wet.
It's so humid.
It's so humid. You know.
Right.
But Quito is not. Quito is up in the mountains.
Beautiful, I bet.
Oh, it is. But you know, if you're not used to being up in the mountains, the air is so thin that you're all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So was this a private company or was it still for the government?
No, it's my company.
Your company.
Yeah.
Oh, so you develop, or what kind of construction did you do?
We did HVAC.
Got it.
Air conditioning and heating.
Okay.
That's what we did.
All right. And after that construction work, did you get into lending there? Because you were mentioning that you were doing loans for commercial. Real estate.
Yeah. Well, what happened was in 2003, a big company called Lowe's Theaters, and the other one was what was the other one? I can't remember it right now. But anyway, Lowe's Theaters went bankrupt on us,
Okay.
owing us $2 million.
Wow.
So I paid everybody off, and then I said, "Well, you know, what can I do now?" So I borrowed $1 million, and in 9 months I paid it back.
Oh wow. Very interesting.
Yeah, and we started, and you know, what did I know about construction? I knew how to fix something, in the house and that kind of thing. But I don't have the use of my left arm. I used to be left-handed, so I hire guys, and we would do that.
That's awesome.
But there's a story that I tell about a guy that used to work for me. He was the best welder I ever met in my whole life. Okay. Guy's name was Hemroy James. We had a job in New York City in a 40-story building. Okay. And in New York, or anywhere, when you build a kitchen, okay, you have to make the exhaust system has to be at least 10 feet above the ground, above the roof.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to extend that ductwork up there. So I didn't have any other welders but Hemroy. So we leased a what the hell do you call it? A bucket for lowering it down into the space. We built, instead of replacing the whole at 40 stories high, we built
Oh,
bands around where the ductwork was rotting out. So we built this ductwork. We lowered Hemroy in a bucket down to, I don't remember what story, maybe the 25th floor, I think. And he got scared. He wasn't
He
used
panicked.
to he wasn't used to the height, and he came from Jamaica. He wasn't used to that. So he
panic,
he couldn't, he panicked. He couldn't,
work.
yeah. So having been in the Marine Corps, I know how to repel. So I went repelled into the bucket,
Wow.
and then I got him up to the roof. So
If
I
you
had to
couldn't do
go.
it.
No, we didn't do it. So we had to get outside help in order to fix the stack.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did you get into construction? So what prompted you to go and do that kind of work?
Well, I didn't know what else to do.
Right.
I didn't have to work because I got a pension, but so I said to myself, what can I do?
You love fixing things, so you went in that direction. But it's interesting that you went all over the world to get these contracts. How did you find these people, or did you?
What happened was very simple. Okay, I wrote an article for Computer World because we were building computer rooms.
Okay.
And I wrote an article for Computer World. And then one day, Citibank called me up and said, we would like to see you. But their headquarters for South America is in Miami.
Okay.
So I flew down to Miami and we talked, and they said, well, we would like you to go to Barbados and look at the problem we have in Barbados because we want to put up this. In those days, they had mini computers.
Okay.
Not laptops or the whatever you call them nowadays. I got a tablet, So anyway, they want me to go to Barbados and write up a report on how they could build this computer system in not the system, the room
Okay.
and the equipment, and
To fit it
the
in.
electricity, the air conditioning, all of that. So I said, okay. So I got, and they wanted me to go right there, then and there, leave Miami and go to Barbados. So I went to Barbados. The bank was in a building that was all wood. And I go over to check out the stuff. I go over to the electrical panel. I put my hand on the panel and I almost burned myself.
No way. So hot.
Because the electrician had lined up the whole panel on one side. Well, see, when you line up electricity on an electrical panel, you want it on both sides so that you don't burn the place down.
Gotcha.
And this place had that. So right away, I picked up the phone. I called Miami, and I said, hey, you got a big problem here. Well, go fix it. I said, well, I'm not an electrician, and if anything should happen, I don't want to,
Reliable.
Yeah, I don't want to be liable. But I said, well, call this guy. I said, what guy are you calling? The guy that lined up the panel on one side? I said, you're crazy. Don't do
He
that.
doesn't know what to do.
Yeah. So they got somebody else, okay? And I wrote up this report on what you needed for that facility in Barbados. So I said, go do it. So we went to Barbados. I brought some of my guys. We went to Barbados. First of all, we had to draw the plans. Okay. So we had the Citibank architect in Barbados because I didn't know the codes in Barbados, the building codes.
Right.
So they drew up the plans, and we went ahead and built it.
Wow.
And then Citibank was so happy that it made me go to Jamaica. We go to Trinidad. We went to Ecuador. We went to Colombia. Where else did we go? Peru? No, we didn't go to Peru for them. We went some other places.
Wow.
And we built computer rooms. We built 8 computer rooms.
See, and I think this is fascinating because many times, I mean, a lot of these girls, they're professionals, right? They work with us, and sometimes we get so focused on one thing that because we trained for this is what we got to do. but the world is so big and the opportunities are so vast. Look at you, from building computers all over the world to selling res, right? So it's and that's why I wanted to have you here, because it's so fascinating to see that our minds can be as big or as small as we want to, as we want them to be. And you've done so many things that I admire you for that. I admire your drive to showing up. And when I ask you, so how you doing, sir, every single morning, what is your response?
Terrific.
He does great every day. He's like, I do great every day. So your attitude, I have this saying that, I borrow from someone, your attitude determines your altitude. And however you want to take life, if you have a beautiful attitude, it'll take you, in many places, literally and figuratively, right? So again, I just want to thank you for your time, for coming over and spending a few.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
Definitely. This is what it's for. I mean, we want to help each other grow in this world, right? I mean, I'm not going to take anything when I leave. So the only thing that I want to leave is, how can I help you? How can I help you, right? What can we do for others? And by helping others stay healthy and live long lives and live in a beautiful way. I mean, I think it's important.
Well, thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah, well, there's longevity in my family.
Definitely. I like that. So tell me about that. So your family has.
Yeah, well, my great grandfather fought in the Civil War. He died at 111.
Wow.
All right. My grandfather was 96, and my grandmother was 95, and they both died on the same day, a year apart.
Wow.
So when you look at the tombstones, you think they both died on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did. February 1st, but he died a year after she died. My father died at 93.
What do you attribute it to? Do you think it's just genes, or is it
Just
lifestyle?
Just
Okay, genes.
genes and drinking red.
Yeah, there you go. What is your diet like? I mean, have you been consistent your whole life on eating healthy, or you just eat? Well, tell us a little bit about that.
You know what? I eat whatever I want to eat.
Okay.
I'm Jewish, so and we keep kosher in our house. Okay.
For those who don't know what kosher means, what is it?
Well, kosher is a particular dietary laws that we don't eat pork, we don't eat shellfish, we don't mix milk and meat at the same time. It goes back to way, thousands of years ago. So I do that.
Okay.
But other than that, I eat everything.
Right. My father was the same way. He ate everything, and he used to tell me, because I love to eat a lot. He says, "Son, always leave a little bit of room. Don't get full. Always eat.
You know, I
eat
don't
everything."
eat everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And but I think that's a good way to see. He drank a lot of water too, so that was another.
Oh, I drink res and water.
There you go.
Yeah, you got to stay lubricated.
Definitely.
Yeah, especially out here in the summertime.
So yeah, especially here, right? It's always
Yeah.
hot. Yeah. And
I live here all year round.
Right. If you were to tell one of these youngsters good advice to have a long life, successful life, because it seems like everything you've touched, like the King Midas, you turn into gold. What would you tell them? I mean, what's one thing that you would advise?
I'll tell you what, I really don't know what kept me alive all these years.
Okay.
I really don't know. So for me to give advice to somebody else, I really can't give it to them. I can recommend that they drink res, obviously,
Right.
but because it protects your immune system. And look, a couple of weeks ago, I got pain on my side. So I go to the VA. The VA takes a CAT scan. Oh, you got kidney stones. I never had kidney stones before in my life. It was very painful. So I said, okay, so get them out. So I went, and believe it or not, the operating room at the VA hospital in Phoenix was closed. It's closed. How the hell can you have an operating room closed? Okay, what they did.
Right.
But they told me to show up on a certain day. They knew it was cold, but they told me to show up on a certain date. I show up on that Monday. I'm sitting there since 8 o'clock that morning. And they say to me, oh, the operating, we'll try to get you into another hospital. 6 o'clock that night, They get me into St. Joe's in Phoenix. Okay, at least it's in Phoenix. And the doctor, right then and there, he put a stent in me so that maybe hopefully it would pass. Didn't pass. So I still got the pain. 3 weeks later,
Wow.
they took me over to Shea in Scottsdale. I went to Shea and they, whatever the heck they did, they got him out.
Awesome. So the pain's gone.
Pain's gone.
Beautiful, beautiful.
But, you know, you got pain in life,
Of course.
you know. There's two things you got to remember. You can either feel sorry for yourself and go around life, all your life, feeling sorry for yourself, and I guess you're nowhere. Or you can say, okay, I got kicked in the teeth. Let me get up and go and see what I can do to overcome this.
There you go. That's it. Yeah.
That's
You can't
it.
give up.
No.
You don't fail unless you quit. I was talking to someone yesterday. They were going through a challenge and they're like, you know what? If this doesn't work out, I'm gonna quit. And I'm like, well, if you don't quit, you don't fail. You got to keep at it, right?
If he quits, he's going to commit suicide?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, not. And they're gonna quit what they were doing because it's hard. Life is hard, right? But again, you choose your heart.
Listen, I had two big companies went bankrupt on me. I picked myself up and did something else.
And that's basically what I wanted to get to with that, because I mean, most people think everything's easy. I mean, it could be easier if you have the right attitude. Because if you're going through something hard, and then on top of that you get down on yourself, it's worse.
Incidentally, you've been drinking the Res. You like it?
I like it. I love it. I recommend it.
Which one did you choose?
This one is the orange mango,
Okay. Comes in 3 flavors.
right?
Orange mango, watermelon peach, and fruit punch.
Beautiful. All right, guys, get your rest. Thank you so much for coming and joining us, sir. Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
coming, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Have a good day, guys. Take care.